Hey everyone, I'm Vicky271, and today I'll be telling you the first chapter of Reflections. I'm gonna get right to it and not start gabbing like I usually do. So this chapter 1, is called Losing. The sun was setting on the horizon, which signaled for the end of another day. The night sky was starting to fill with stars, which would shed some light on the dark planet. I sat in the kitchen waiting for Benjamin to come home. Every passing second would be more nervous and frantic. What if it was an accident? Maybe he got shot in that important court case. Or even worse, what if I found someone else to be with? Not that he would do that or anything. My fingers were tapping against the tabletop, and my eyes searched the orange sky for a sign that showed he was on his way home. I rested my head on the table while observing his dinner on the counter, salmon, which I'd spent a long time making. But it was worth every second, because it was Ben's favorite. Today was an important day for Ben, one that meant losing or gaining something important. Benjamin was going into court to defend a young man accused of a hit-and-run, which had occurred a few days after the summer break started. The defendant's name was Martin Stewart, a very powerful lawyer, who promised Ben a big promotion if he proved him innocent. But if he failed, Martin said he could easily fire him. Ben told me before that he left that morning that he had some information that he thought would clear Martin. A blue Jeep pulled into the driveway, and I jumped to see who it was. Benjamin got out of the vehicle. He looked tired as ever. He locked the door securely before turning towards the house and rushing up the steps. I stepped lively towards the kitchen counter and distracted myself as I heard the keys clanking together as Ben opened the window door. Normally I'm not in the kitchen. I have servants, but they had the day off, so I'm not sure Ben was very surprised when he walked inside and saw me at the kitchen counter. I smiled as I heard Ben's quiet footsteps approach me from behind. They came closer and closer and closer and closer, and still closer, still closer. I laughed silently. Sneaking up on people is something you need to work on. I turned around to see him. Ben was closer to me than I thought. I could feel his breath in his face, which was just a few inches away from mine. He smiled. It amazes me how observant you are. Ben put his arm around my waist and locked me in his iron grip. How was your day? I groaned. Boring. A chuckle slipped from his lips. How so? Planning a wedding isn't exactly my version of fun. I rolled my eyes. He looked at me in a way that made me want to hold my breath. Do you want any help? Well, of course I want help, a little voice whispered inside me. Tell him you want help. No, it's okay. You have to focus on work anyway. I'll be fine. He didn't seem to hear the last part. But you're my first priority. Ben bent down and very slowly kissed my throat. He made his way to my cheek, and finally his lips were just a few inches from mine. You're my first priority, Tanya, he whispered. Then he was kissing me. My hands wound tight around his neck as I tried to get closer. I felt his urgency and tension. In my mind there was a little bit too much of both. He seemed nervous, like something had gone wrong. Then I remembered the case. Maybe he'd lost. I finally had enough. My head was spinning like a helicopter's blade. I pulled away slowly and let this seem too anxious. I looked into his brown eyes. You hungry? You kidding? I could eat a horse. He laughed softly. He kept his arms around my waist as I turned around and grabbed the salmon. I gave it to him. As he took his arms away from my waist, I sat down. Aren't you hungry? He asked suspiciously. I shook my head. No, my mom stopped an hour ago and brought me something from that burger joint on Mason. Ben patted my arm. Your mom would do that, wouldn't she? Yeah, she would. I sat down on the chair and he started eating. So how'd the case go? I was anxious to hear what happened. Ben stopped eating. His eyes were now closed, and I could feel the tension in the air. I felt awkward. That bad? He didn't answer. Ben! Still no answer, but now I swore he was as white as a goat. Benjamin, what's wrong? He slowly put his head on my shoulder. Something happened in the office today, right after the case. What? I felt my heart speed up like a bullet that had just been fired. He opened his eyes. I got a call from Edgar White. Edgar White? The prosecuting attorney? Ben nodded. Yeah, the thing is he threatened to do something really bad if I won the case. What? Just forget about it. Ben continued eating. But I wasn't going to put this aside. Ben, just forget about it, he interrupted. His tone frightened me. He was hiding something. Ben, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be pestering you. Ben pulled me onto his lap before he kissed my hand. No, I should be apologizing. I shouldn't have talked to you like that. I'm sorry. I shook my head. It's okay, but won't you accept my apology? For what? For pestering you. I felt guilty. Ben laughed. You don't need to apologize for being curious. It's a natural human trait. I got off his lap and sat down back into the chair. Didn't curiosity kill the cat? Yes, it did. Ben brushed his hand over my cheek. But the cat wasn't you. A smile swept across my face. Yeah, okay, I'm tired, so I'm gonna go to head for the snack. Night. He kissed my forehead. Night. I heard him sigh softly. My heart by now was accelerating quicker than before. But whatever was happening to him, I had to put aside. For the next little while, I needed to get a wedding present for him. I sat on the bed in my room. Ben had insisted that we didn't sleep together until we were officially married, but I had no problem with that. As long as I was with him conscientiously. Sorry, people, I'm having a hard time pronouncing this word. All the time. I was fine. I laid on my bed and closed my eyes. Thoughts rattled in my mind, but now all I needed was to think about sleep. After a few minutes, I was totally unconscious. So I'm sorry, that took a long time for me to pronounce that word. I didn't even pronounce it. So that's chapter 1. The last chapter in the that I wrote is the next chapter. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it.